quite an honor. I mean, this has been a year where I have been getting a lot of accolades, and I think what they're trying to do, they don't know if we're going to live another year or two, so they're trying to catch them all before we're gone. So, I mean, it's been wonderful. And when Kenny was talking about the support of the schools, I think it's wonderful. You know, the people who come in and want to work for us and are willing to strive and get the education to get somewhere is just, it's one of the greatest things we can do. You know, we've been doing this, we're used to it, and I'm a little worried that you know, the younger people are more spoiled than we were when we started. So, I mean, we need to get them involved, you know. And all these famous guys that I see and girls sitting out here that received this honor, that's very nice. You know, you all very well deserved it. And I'm quite honored to get it, so I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
I say that it is my pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Claudia DiSabatino-Smith.
I want to begin by thanking you for inviting me to be a part of this esteemed group. What wonderful leaders. I am humbled to stand before you and to stand next to Fritz and Jesse's mom. I want to acknowledge my husband, that wasn't supposed to happen. My classmates and my friends, for all their support and guidance throughout my journey. You know, when I think of my career path, my life, a famous movie comes to mind, The Wizard of Oz.
How did I know?
How many of you have seen The Wizard of Oz? Okay, I feel better. My husband told me, honey, these kids are not going to have seen that movie. I attended Fairless from 1966 to 69, and that's where my journey started. I think back to the education that I received here, and I feel blessed. Who would have ever thought that I would become an RN and go on to earn my PhD and conduct research? Well, I will tell you, it certainly wouldn't have been Joe Gruber, my chemistry teacher, because the poor man had to tutor me after school to help me get through chemistry. And so don't believe it when they tell you you have to be strong in science to be a nurse, because I wasn't. And you know, the other faculty member that comes to mind was Janet Wolf. She was the one who taught speech at the time, and it is she that I have to credit for giving me the skills to be able to present all over the U.S. and across the world. And you know, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Larry Marzulli, right? Because he was the reason that got me inspired when I ran for public office 2 different times. I can't even imagine what he thinks at this point. My life journey was very much like Dorothy's from The Wizard of Oz. Dorothy followed the yellow brick road all the way back to Kansas, which was her destination. I too have followed the yellow brick road, a journey that brings me back here today. But you know, part of the scariest part of that journey was deciding the destination. But y'all need to know that there's folks along the way that will help you with this. Glinda, the Wicked Witch of the East. You remember her? She's commonly referred to as your guidance counselor, could be a coach, might be a mentor, right? But that person, Glinda, can supply you with so many of the tools you'll need for your journey. And don't forget about the munchkins, right? Your friends. Y'all are the munchkins, right? Those are my classmates who are terrific brainstormers and aren't afraid to share their ideas with you. Now keep in mind, they have different interests, different talents, and other goals. So don't listen to the munchkins too much, okay? In my case, I really hadn't discovered my talents, my strengths, or my weaknesses. So I wasn't sure what my destination was. I was very much like Dorothy, who walked into the tornado, totally unprepared. But I followed the yellow brick road. Along the way, I encountered people who influenced me and whom I respected. Along the way, they gave me the tools to ease my journey. But a crown, ruby slippers, and a wand can only do so much, right? That's when I turned to the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, the Cowardly Lion. They were an integral part of my journey. They were the team that represent my family and all their love and support. When I least expected it, they provided the oil can, the heart, and even the brain that's facilitated my successful journey. There are always pitfalls along the way. They'll be in your journey too. One might be the Wicked Witch of the West, right? Dorothy's nemesis. She was the barrier to Dorothy getting to Kansas. Other barriers that you may face include a lack of knowledge or experience or sparse resources like I had. Yes, that means money, okay? And there are distractions. Sometimes those distractions lead you down a different path, like in The Wizard of Oz, the poppy fields, right? The great wizard himself may itself be a distraction as the power, the myth, and the magic fade. You find that the great wizard was not the one who could get Dorothy back to Kansas. It was something only she could do, and only you can do. So don't think for a minute you're out of the woods yet, because how could the story end without the appearance of the flying monkeys, right? That was our favorite part. The flying monkeys represent those little problems that crop up. Get ready, because seldom is there not a few flying monkeys. As hard as you try to consider all the possibilities, those little pests always seem to show up. But you too can reach your destination. Just follow the yellow brick road. And if you go astray and take a different path, no worries, no worries. It may just make your journey richer. Things will seem hopeless at times. Don't forget to use your ruby slippers, your magic wand. Don't be afraid to ask for guidance, to bounce ideas off to someone that you know and you trust. And don't be afraid to alter your plan. I went from a bedside nurse to a worldwide speaker, doing research that lets me disseminate throughout the world. It's not a sign of weakness to change your plan, but it's a sign of strength. Make use of the Tin Man's heart, the Scarecrow's brain, and most of all, perhaps, keep smiling and petting Toto. You will learn some surprising things along your way. Remember that some of those barriers that you encountered may change the course of your journey. You could say that they could tend to be promoters. Stay focused on the destination, follow the yellow brick road, and before you know it, like Dorothy, you'll be saying, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. Or, I guess as young people say today, hashtag living the dream. Right? I think that's right. I checked with young people in Houston, and they tell me that's what they say. Fairless provides the building block to equip you for the journey. But today, I want to share with you some of the gifts that I received along the way. I brought my magic wand, and so I have just covered all of you with fairy dust. And so now you have everything I have, okay? So, you're ready. You're ready, right? All you have to do is follow the yellow brick road. Thank you.
Unfortunately, Staff Sergeant Zumbro could not be with us today. And so, on behalf of Jesse, I'm going to ask his mother, Virginia Zumbro, to come forward so we can present his prayer.
All right, I think I can take it from here. Mom, you come sit down. Thank you, I know you're crying. I'd like to congratulate the other participants as well. It's really an unfortunate circumstance that I found myself in where I can't be there today. It was all sudden and at the last minute here. And I just wanted to, hi Ethan, I just wanted to appreciate everything everybody's done for me there. I got a quick speech myself. I'll go ahead and run through it. Hopefully we don't have any technical glitches, but they really worked hard to make sure I was still part of this entire event. And I can't appreciate it anymore. I'm not going to start back from the beginning and reintroduce myself or the accomplishments which have brought me here today. I feel these accomplishments have been presented wonderfully, but do not feel they are exceptional to an individual because nothing extraordinary occurred leading up to this. I didn't win the lottery, was not a publisher clearinghouse grand prize winner, and definitely never received a lucky break which landed me a remarkable opportunity. Life has very little to do with what's happening to your day-to-day, month-to-month, and year-to-year. The real opportunity arrives from the fact anyone has the ability to make choices about their life in a seemingly infinite manner. Choices, kind of like saving cash for retirement, have a distinct ability to slowly add up over time and provide security and opportunity in the future. Or conversely, lead to fear and misfortune. Reviewing the critical decisions we make in our lives daily, there appears to always be a few obvious outcomes which have a uniquely inverse relationship. A choice can be made out of pure convenience, but I bet if you look back in your life and analyze any choices you made which resulted in your convenience, there was not a desirable outcome. Just a simple example of this would be applied to speed in your car simply because you desire to reach your destination sooner. While this choice is done out of convenience to yourself, the odds of an undesirable outcome, including a speeding ticket or a wreck, far outweighs any convenience which was temporarily obtained. You can also make a choice for self-gratification, but just as explained in the previous example, this approach lacks balance. And while individually they may have increased happiness, collectively, allowing for self-gratification will not deposit much value in that choice's retirement account I already spoke of. I've used a little different approach to choices ever since I can remember. It simply includes allowing myself to be my own best critic. Ask your hypothetical future self to explain why a choice you made today was best for your future is a clarifying test which allows to build a defense of the past. But most importantly, it makes you have the most advantageous decision for success in life and family. Singularly, these choices may seem minuscule, but when linked together into a long string of good choices, the possibilities truly are limitless. Much like a rope, that single thread is easily breakable and virtually useless, but weaving those threads together can make a rope with tremendous opportunity. I would like to genuinely thank my family for always supporting these choices, even when they may have secretly disagreed. Making a choice to join an organization as dedicated as the military, then voluntarily deploying to regions such as Iraq and Afghanistan was certainly not done by convenience, exceptionally so to my family, but because of my previous decisions, I was able to position myself to work directly for our presidential administration in Washington, and this will continue to be a lifelong bedrock of my future success. Let me reiterate, there's absolutely nothing about this choice which was immediately self-gratifying or convenient. But they all easily pass the most important test of having a clear and consistent string of choices which are easily defendable to my future self. Everyone with the right cord of choices can achieve their goals, but it's tremendously important to also rationalize those goals will evolve with time. I would like to wholeheartedly thank the Fairless Alumni Association for selecting myself in this distinct honor, and thank the entire staff of the Fairless School District. You were my educators for 13 years, and my achievements were not completed in a vacuum, but rather the result of quality education and mentorship received during my time with the Fairless family. Thank you very much. Mom, I know, my dad, I know you guys are upset I couldn't be there today. Trust me, I am too. And I just appreciate everything. And that's all I have to say right now. Sorry. Thank you.
Today we have honored 3 individuals who have come from the Fairless High School community, and they've gone on to have tremendous success in their professional careers. Mr. Leeman, Dr. Smith, Staff Sergeant Zumbro, you exemplify the mantra we hold so dear at Fairless High School by soaring to excellence every day. You've made sacrifices and choices to better the world around you, and you've inspired our students. Thank you for this, and most of all, thank you for being Fairless Falcons. The example you have set for our students is important, and is a message we all need to share. As I've reflected over the past several weeks about the people we are inducting today, I'm reminded of several passages from A Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren, which I'd like to share with you. Warren wrote, "Experience is not what happens to you, is what you do with what happens to you. Don't waste your pain, use it to help others." Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a society that idealizes celebrities like the Kardashians, Justin Bieber, Lindsay Lohan, and that, by the way, is just Mr. Leeman's list that he came up with. And I'm sure these are good, decent people, but I challenge you to look to the people we've inducted today as role models. Staff Sergeant Zumbro is an American hero. He has lived through experiences that most of us are simply not strong enough to endure. He is a living example of what Warren said. His life is not defined by experiences, but by how he has used those experiences to make the world a better place. Thank you for your service, Mr. Zumbro. Another passage, Rick Warren wrote, "Humility is not thinking less of yourself. It is thinking of yourself less. Humility is thinking more of others, and humble people are so focused on serving others that they don't think of themselves." When reading this, I think of the great work done by our medical professionals, people like Dr. Smith, who spend their lives researching, comforting, and caring for the sick. It is a noble, necessary, and purposeful profession.
My name's Amo Alacusin, and I'm here to see Fritz Leeman. I work at Brewster Cheese.
I'm Kathy Schaffner. I was Kathy Hodge Schaffner in high school, and I'm a classmate of Claudia DiSabatino-Smith. And I was here to see her inducted into the Wall of Fame. Congratulations, Claudia. I'm so happy for you. Well deserved. You are our hero.
Hi, my name's Melinda Reed, and I'm here for my nephew, Jesse Zumbro. He couldn't be here today, but they surprised us with a Skype, and he gave an awesome speech, and I just want to tell him congratulations, and the other two recipients congratulations. It's been a great event. And his nephew, Ethan Zumbro's here with me today.